Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Invictus Racing League Tier 3. It's round 3 around the Hungarian Grand Prix. It's Joe Hampson, I'm with you, and Ewan, Wicked of Storm, alongside me. How are you today, Ewan?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks, mate. I'm not too bad.
So, sorry to interrupt. Two players have just left the session. So, are they going to reset the session, do you think?
They should just be able to rejoin. Should be fine. Fingers crossed.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt the flow. I just saw them two leave.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm sure they'll hopefully be able to get back in. Right, let me just sort out my settings as usual. It always takes me a minute. We don't need tyres. Cap to the leader in the broadcast settings. 20 cars on track today, so a busy race nonetheless. Hopefully a few less safety cars though than last week, that's for sure. Let's see who's going to be first out on track. Got some action in the Red Bull garage. Tinnis optional out for an early lap, set a nice banker lap ready to go.
Both Red Bulls are out. Just saw Jolly coming out of the
both Red Bulls and the Ferrari. And the Haas. Yeah. Some people coming out to make a early time. It's quite a short lap, this one. So you've got plenty of time to go in and do your 3 laps and get back out again. Some might even opt for a double warm-up, which is what I would do around here, as we have the few drivers just rejoining the lobby now, so that's good.
Awesome. Quite a few straight out.
Yeah, quite a few out, isn't there? Hopefully don't get too busy on the track and we get some people blocking each other. It's a difficult track, this one. If you mess up in one corner, it affects quite a long part of your lap. Not a track I like too much, but that's me personally. I'm sure some people here will love this track. Last season in Tier 3, I think Daryl won the race actually around Hungary, and with quite a comfortable lead, so we'll be keeping an eye on him today after his disappointment last week. But let's keep an eye on Tinnis now. He's going to be setting our first lap for us. So we have a yellow flag, just some people setting up for their laps. This straight always feels longer than it looks. It looks like a very long straight, but a late braking zone into turn 1 to carry some nice speed through the turn and a great exit onto the inside. Well done from Tinnis. Out wide to come around the long left-hander where you cannot kiss that apex or you will lose the car. Take as much curb as you can on the entrance and as much curb as you can on the exit. And then the same here, as much curb again as you can, making sure you don't run wide on the exit. Another curb on the inside there, an absolute killer. If you get your wheels up on there, you will spin the car around. I'm sure we'll see that a couple of times tonight. But so far, looking nice and tidy from the Red Bull. Making sure not to compromise this line through the next few corners. So you have a few yellow flags, just people letting each other through. But no serious mistakes so far from Tinnis. A nice comfortable lap as he almost runs a bit wide there, but used as much track as possible. A purple sector, but of course he is the first one out tonight. So 2 more corners. This looks like a good lap to me. What do you think?
Yeah, he's been pretty flawless. A couple of times where he's run wide, but I think he'll be able to. I think it'll be a time that will be very difficult to beat.
1:17.4. Let's see how that compares to the cars just behind him. So the Ferrari crosses the line. That's over a second slower. Not what Atsu will be hoping for, as he would perform well the last few nights. Let's see who's next to come over the line. I think it's the Haas next, isn't it? The Haas and the Red Bull of Jolly. So the Haas is 7/10 off the time of Tinnis. And Jolly obviously had a mistake in that lap. I think you might be right. This is looking like a good time so far from Tinnis. His office rate goes just a 10th behind. It's not letting me scroll across the drivers. Oh, there we go. Bizarre. Let's go on board with JP. Never mind. That was really bad timing. As I went on board with JP, he hit the wall on the right in the second to last corner. That would not be a good start for the McLaren. He will be hoping to make amends for last week's race. Nitrogash is 6 tenths off the pace. A few more drivers coming in thick and fast here. Let's go take a look at JPH, who's got a few corners left to go. He will not be trying to repeat the antics of JP9, that's for sure. Around the last couple of corners, looks like a little bit of traffic ahead of him. But McLaren's parked well out the way.
Oh, and there's a 5-place grid penalty.
Oh, I have no idea what happened there. We'll have to hopefully get a replay of that one. As JPH goes third, just a tenth and a half off the pace. A brilliant time from him. Just a couple more cars coming over the line now. This is the car that had contact, Charles John. So he's not set a lap yet. He looks like he's going to be on a flyer.
Something's happened between Sam Flam and JP, I believe. I think that's what caused JP to go out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't see what happened. I wasn't on board.
I don't. I'm just looking in the room and JP does not look pleased.
Oh dear, I'm sure that one will be in the stewards tonight. Welcome, Renz. Nice to see you here. Got a couple more as Charles has gone round. I think he missed last week, but he's back in the McLaren today. Not the introduction he would have wanted, as he resets to track there. Sure, that's fine in quali.
Oh, it's because Sam Flam wouldn't let him past.
Oh, I see. Never ideal when that happens.
Oh, but Sam nearly rides the curb there. But he's alright. He should be okay to
Is he
come
good?
through this lap. Yeah, he's good. Both wheels were just nearly tipped the car over, which isn't ideal. Oh!
1:16.9 from Trems, just on board with him as he finished that lap. 5 tenths quicker than Tinnis. Maybe that lap's looking even better than you thought.
Yeah. Oh, and he's coming out on his outlap now. I think he's seen that and he's not happy about it. He doesn't want to settle for just a second. He wants that pole.
Can't say I blame him. It looked like a good time, but Trems had something else to say about that one. Who's your pick for pole tonight, Ewan?
I think it will come down to Tinnis's dedication. If he can bring an even more flawless lap than what I thought, then I think he'll get pole.
It looked like a tidy lap, so he might struggle to find too much time on that one. I didn't see too many mistakes from him, so he might have to have a look in the garage and see where he lost his time to his opponents. But we'll have to see. It looked like a good lap, though.
Yeah.
Russman is rooting for Darrell Whiffin to win tonight. They had teammates in RP, those two.
Oh, and Atza has lost the car. As you said earlier, he lost it. He lost the back of his car going over the curb.
Disaster for the Ferrari. Did he pick up any damage?
I don't think so. He's straight back out onto the track, but I think he'll go into the pits.
No, I can't see any damage. Let's see what he decides to do. Dennis is just starting his lap now. He's got a time to beat of a 1:16.9, down in the 1:16s already. Some brilliant times being set so far. Darrell is out on his out lap. A few of you are cheering him on. So nice tidy corners, a little bit of traffic ahead. Hopefully they'll get out the way. As Tinnis comes round the right hander, a curb you do not want to make contact with. And the car moves out the way. Let's see, can he beat his time of his last lap? 1:17.4 he set last time. It's looking nice indeed. He's run a bit wide there, and that is an invalidation, I'm afraid, for Tinnis. Looks like he'll have to come back in the pits and rethink his strategy there, because that was not what he'll be wanting as he's trying to defend that time. Who have we got on an outlap at the moment? We've got Nitrogash about to set one.
Just about to say him.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
Let's keep an eye on Nitrogash. He's had some speed on him this beginning of the season. He won the first race, so be hoping for a bit of replication of that tonight. But P9 is not the place to be starting if he wants to do so. See, he likes to be high on those gears. Don't know if he runs automatic or manual. Manual gears, a few of them do run automatic around here. Fastest first sector though. Could start to his lap, as long as the sectors aren't being broken again. That does sometimes happen. He's got to carry the McLaren team forward here with the DNF of JP after possibly some altercations with, was it Samfan you said?
Yeah. He's been recommended to clip it and send to the stewards as well. So.
It's never what you want to hear.
See, I can't tell if it was the actual crash or if he's not happy that he wasn't let through.
Oh, okay, so he was trying to get out of the way and it's just a bit of confusion going on.
Yeah.
Well, he's saying it.
And Bruce was going through quickly. I'll take my eyes off for 1 minute and he's in the wall. But he's back out. He's lost his front wing.
Disaster for the Astons.
He will be going into the pits with that. Darrell up into 10th.
Nitrogash as well up into 5th. 7/10 off the time of Trems. Looking like a good time to beat that one as Tinnis is coming back out. He's got a point to prove tonight.
Do you think Darrell will have another Darrell's wall?
Whiffin wall we decided to call it by the end of the week.
Alright.
There's a track graphic and everything is hilarious. I'm hoping for his sake that we do not have another Whiffin wall, but time will tell.
Oh, I've seen it. I'll have to just seen it.
Oh, there's a spin from Jarell at turn 1 just as they go on ball with him to see him start his lap. Not what he'll be wanting there, as there is a few yellow flags around the track at the moment. People are finding it difficult around here tonight. It's always a very hot track, so those tyres do get hot very quickly. And a spin is definitely easy to do around here. See if Sam Flank can hold on to a better lap. Currently P6.
The AlphaTauri coming through now into the final corner. He's on a 112, 113.
Let's keep an eye on him.
The line. And he goes up into 3rd. 4/10. Sorry, not 4/10. 400ths off of the front row. Nearly 6/10 off of pole.
Brilliant time from Kurz. His teammates just come around the last couple of corners now. Sam Flan, 95. He's a second off the pace, but let's see if he can improve on that one. Doesn't look like it. Still 7th. He went 2/10 slower than his previous time. Got a few more cars coming around the corner now. Charles John about to... No, never mind. He's got no ERS. Thought he was about to finish a lap there. A set a lap, sorry. Let's keep an eye on Tinnis, the one who's going to be battling for pole position tonight.
And what it looks like now, battling to keep his 2nd place, as Cook looks to come through on another hot lap.
Is he going back to back?
Yep, it looks like.
Brave, brave. Tinnis is a 10th up.
Yeah, he's come. No, he's gone into the pits.
Has he gone into the pits?
Yeah. I just noticed his fuel lapsing, and he does go into the pits.
Just one more corner for Tinnis. He was a 10th up on his time, but it's not going to be quick enough to beat Trems, I don't think. As he stays in 2nd place, but he does close that gap a little bit. One's to watch. Bontobi has gone up into P7, a brilliant time from him. So a couple more drivers are about to... Oh, they're coming into the pits, I think, these few. So Spud is in the pits. Yeah, these ones look like they're all coming in, don't they?
Joel of the Haas is 0.1 seconds quicker than his pace that he set, but quicker than his lap before as he comes into the final corners.
Let's go on board with him. He's got one corner left. Keep it nice and steady through there. You don't want to get on the power too early and spin the car. Like that. Oh, disaster. What are the chances of that happening? Oh my god.
I've never heard of more perfect timing.
Literally, as I say what you do not want to do, he does exactly that. Darrell, right, let's keep an eye on Darrell. P11 at the moment. We know he's capable of more. He had a pole last night. He'd be definitely looking to improve that over a second off the pace. Not what I'd be hoping for. I can't quite believe that the Haas span right as I said that. What are the odds? That's crazy. Darrell will be hoping not to repeat that. Keeps it nice and tidy, nice and tight to the apex, but not too tight so he spins the car. Now this chicane is a real difficult one. If you take too much curb, then you bounce across the chicane and invalidate. But if you don't take enough, you can't get the car turned back in for the second half. But he seems to navigate in nicely through the next series of corners. Trying to carry as much speed as you can through these. He does do a little downshift and he's run a bit wide there, but he's not invalidated somehow. 6/10 up on his time. This is looking like a brilliant time for Dow. This could put him up into possibly P3 here, unless he can improve on the third sector. I didn't see that one from him last time. A couple more nice corners.
Bruce into the top 3.
Bruce into the top 3, but how long will that last? Not very long, as Darrell goes just faster than him into P3. 4/10 off the pace. This is looking close up top. Just
Dare I
5.
ask who's going to be the top 3 for you in the race?
In the race, I don't know yet. I think we're gonna have to wait for qualifying. I think Darrell, there's no way you can do it twice, right? There's no way you can put the car on the wall twice. Is that brave?
Hopefully not.
I'm gonna go with Darrell, JPH, and I'm gonna go with Bon Toby on his debut, I think.
Okay. Is he
What
one
do you
of the
reckon?
new reserve drivers?
Yeah, he is. He's one of the new drivers out today.
I think it'll be good to see how Bon Toby does get on, but I think we might be keeping the top 3. I hope my commentator's curse doesn't happen again with Darrell.
That is very true. Yeah.
I said he'd win it last time, and it happened. What happened happened. I think we all know what happened.
Yeah, it all unfolded in about 1 lap after a safety car.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt he will be.
6 seconds?
Yeah, he pulled a 6-second gap as he's actually retired. I don't know if that's in the. It was like in the pits there, not a crash on track. P3 though.
DC.
I don't
Sam
know,
Flan coming in. Sorry, 500ths of a second quicker than his normal pace.
Yeah, so I'm on board with now. He's catching a Mercedes though. Hopefully he's not going to get blocked too much, as he does just sit on the racing line there. It's never ideal when you're trying to set a lap, especially when the margins are so tight on a track like Hungary. I didn't catch who that Mercedes was. One more corner. Let's see if Sam Flan can improve on 11th place. You need to find a couple of attempts here at least. It is quicker. He is up into P6, right behind his teammate with almost an identical time. As they lock out the third row of the grid for now.
And Kerr is coming in with a lap time now. He's coming in with his hot lap.
Let's see if he can pull away.
Fully RS.
He's definitely hunting a lap.
Can he better his P5 that he has currently? 2/10 will take him onto the front row.
Tinius has just finished his last lap, but unfortunately still a 10.5 off the time of Trems. As Officer Red goes up into P3, knocking Darrell down to 4th. How much will that DNF cost him? Although he wouldn't have had time to set another lap, so he might be settling, or never mind, as Joseph Creamer goes up into the top 3. Darrell Whiffen falling a bit further down along with Officer Red. There's a few more cars to come over the line yet, and Aston Martin, but he doesn't improve. As the fastest lap is Jack by 0.013 of a second, a 1:69.07 to take him up into provisional pole, but still a few more to come over the line yet. We've got Kurt on a lap and a couple more in front of him, as we see some cars get out the way.
Yeah, Kurt's coming into his final turn now.
We've got the McLaren of Nitro over the line first.
He's not going to gain on... Oh no, he is 6th place.
6th place for Kurt. Nitro up into 5th. Did you not?
No.
Nitro gets up into
By
5th place.
1,000.
Yeah,
By
1,000th of a
1,000th
second.
second.
It's crazy. Crazy close. Especially when they just set those times at the same time as well. I think everyone has crossed the line now. Just waiting for the lobby to move on. It does have a habit of doing that. There we go.
There we go.
So, the grid today for the Hungarian Grand Prix, we have Jack on pole by just 0.013 of a second. Shortly behind him is Trems. In P3 we have Tinnis with a good time, who we thought was going to be taking pole at one point. Joseph Greenman 4th with Nitrogas in 5th. We've got Kurt, leader of the AlphaTaurians in P6 with Alpha's Red down in 7th. Darryl, who did DNF at the end there, is in P8 with Sab just behind him with P9. A brilliant time from Sab. Brucey Hardin is in 10th with Sam Flan just behind him in P10, and the other Aston Martin in P12 of JPH. Bontobi on his debut sets a time of P13, and Atsu is in 14th after that 5-place grid penalty. We've got Mikey in P15 and Jorel on his debut as well in P16 with Sir Spud, Jolly, Charles and JP with that issue rounding out the grid. It will be interesting to see that issue back with JP. I don't know what happened exactly, but
yeah, I think Atsu might be P19 with his 5 grid. I don't think it put it in on the timesheet.
Oh, was that not the drop for Atsu? Let's have a look.
No, because his times were his time was faster than the one below him.
Oh, you might be right actually, as Atsu is starting in P19. Yeah, you're correct. It's a pain that it doesn't apply at the end there, but that's fine. The 5 drives ahead of him will move up a position. Jorel will go up to 15th on his debut. Nothing to be sniffing about that one. It looks like we've had an early ready up though on the grid, so that's never ideal.
One thing worth noting, JP, who does start last, does also carry a 15-second time penalty from last time after his poor start last week.
He's carrying a 15-second time penalty, which is never ideal. We've got one person out, 2 people out on the soft, Jolly in P17, the Red Bull, and never mind, the other one's just changed his tyres. Just Jolly it looks like. Let's get the graphics up.
Coming out their formation now.
So, a mix of mediums and hards. What would you be opting for in this race?
Start of mediums. Get 12. You can get about 15 laps out of them.
And then move on to the hards.
I think it depends on my. Depends how I'm feeling. Depends if I'm. Depends if I'm up there. If I'm pushing, then I'd play it safe. If not, then I'd probably go on the. Oh no, you have to. You can't go medium, can you?
No, you do have to put on a different tyre, and I think the mediums won't go far enough to make it to sort of lap 28 where you could strap the softs on. But those on the hards, they could be looking at going to the softs. Tyre wear's not too bad around here.
So medium hards then, I think, or hards, and then see how it gets on.
Yeah, I think it'll be medium hards for most people, and then hard mediums for those on the alternate strategy. I think going softs might be a bit risky. They're usually not a very good race tyre, the softs, although they are quicker for a couple of laps. I only expect to see the softs, other than Jolly, who's at the back, who'll be looking to make a couple of positions. I only really expect the softs to come out if we have a safety car in the last sort of 5 or 6 laps, I think.
From what it said on the predicted strategy as well, if you're starting on softs, it looks like you're going to go for the 2-stop strategy.
Be interesting to see what Jolly does. I think Jolly might be banking for an early safety car. It is a miracle
Hopefully
indeed,
not
Renz.
Whippin's expense.
No, hopefully not a Whippin's expense, you're correct. It is a miracle, Renz. We do have a formation lap in the IRL League after the issues that Cody's had with the game at the beginning of the season. Seems to have sorted that more or less. A couple of people have reported in the past, but we've not anything here, thankfully, in other leagues. So they just come around the last couple of corners now, keeping those tyres nice and hot. Jack doesn't want to get to the line too early, so he'll be sitting there waiting for everyone to form up behind him with a few on the faster tyre just behind. What do you think? Do you reckon you get a better getaway on the left or the right there, with the left being the racing line?
The right-hand side, though, is down the inside line.
The right hand side is
Yeah.
down. It is the inside into turn 1 with a right hander. That is very true because it is a clockwise lap around Hungary. Just 14 turns, a very short track.
However, it is. You would want to go from the outside to in on this. Bearing in mind it is a 180-degree turn.
You would indeed, but quite often there is not the space for that, as we have 3, 4, and we have 5 red lights. And again, being held for ages, but the drivers are away. It doesn't look like a very good start for Jack, who is falling down the order. A brilliant start from Trems, but the Ferrari on the inside up into P1. 3 wide behind him. Let's see if they can all keep it steady through turn 1. No collision and no spin off the line. That is what we like to see, as Joseph Greenwood does take that P1 position. There is a spin of a Mercedes in the background. That is Charles John, who has gone around, but he doesn't look to have lost too much time. So far, it's nice and tidy through here. Few positions being lost as Tinnis has fallen down to P10. I don't know if he's had a collision with somebody. Oh, he is going again, so he's staying in P10, but that was a very dramatic start. A few drivers changing positions as Sab goes up into P8 now. The Mercedes of Charles Jean has come up to the back of the pack, so that is good to see, as we have a few moves being made at the back. Jolly Jolig on those soft tyres is pushing through the field. He's got the Ferrari and he looks to make a move at the inside, and there's a few mistakes in front of him, but luckily he stays away from the car ahead. As we have a yellow flag of Bontobi on his debut, spinning the car or making contact, I didn't quite see. That's the Red Bull going wide. I don't know if Tinnis has picked up some damage here as he's struggling with the car as everyone goes flying past him. I think he has picked up some damage. A good start for Jolly Jolig up into P14 and Bruce Lee going up into P8. His teammates down in 12th at the moment, but there's a long way to go yet. The Aston Martins are notorious for strategies, I tell you. Notorious. As we have Trems going a bit wide there, and he's losing a few positions. I didn't see what happened there. But as I was saying, the Aston Martins, they like the alternate strategy very much so. They love it. Sab is in the pit, so it looks like a couple of cars with damage at the back there. Sab and Tinnis both in the pits. Bontobi coming around the last corner, and he doesn't need to pit, so that's good. He will not be too far behind. Let's keep an eye on Office Red, who is all over the back of Jack. Will he look to make a move up the inside? He's going to keep it steady. It's a brave position to go for an overtake there on the inside, but if you do have the pace, you can do it. Is he going to look for an inside line through the chicane? He's not. He's going to keep it nice and tidy through there, as he does run a little bit wide, as he's trying to chase down the Alfa Romeo of Jack. Just 3 tenths is the gap. Though he does drop down a little bit. Trems has fallen through the order as well.
The issue with the track being so tight is any spin off and you'll spin into the track, causing a safety car.
That is the only issue around here. The walls are so close to the cars that if you do make a mistake, so close to the track, sorry, that if you do make a mistake, it is easy to bin it in the wall, as JP does go round, but I think it looks like he kept it out the wall there, as he has got the car going again. So Joseph Greener leads us in P1 with Nitro Gas just behind him. Jack in P3 with Office Red looking to take that one off him as he wants to climb up onto the podium positions. But it doesn't look like he quite has the pace through the corners. I think Trems might have picked up some damage there as he goes into the pits on lap 2 with those hard tyres. Not what he wanted to have been doing. Those mediums aren't going to last him till the end, I don't think. Office Red just 3 attempts behind, looking desperate for a move here, but can't see anything doing. As we go round the 3rd lap of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Keeping it nice and tidy, he's leaving a couple of attempts to the car ahead. Darrell will be sniffing around. Darrell up into P5, as Rustin said. He's made a couple of positions in the opening lap. And he'll be looking to strengthen on that, as he does run a bit wide there and almost goes into the wall on the left. That would have been very bad timing if we went on board for that one. Who have you got your eyes on at the moment, Ewan?
I've got the battle between JPH and Atsa for the battle for turn, battle for points.
Battle for points.
Atsa will get the DRS into this lap.
Atsu has proven in the past he's quick.
It didn't look like he was. It looked at times in the last lap that he was going to make the overtake. He just couldn't quite get the pace, and it doesn't look like he's going to do it again in this lap. But the issue with oh, and he spun it. He's in the grass.
Atsu has gone round. He did make a mistake in qualifying as well. Did Atsu. That's not good. That drops him down into P15. And I'm sure JPH will be a little bit relieved as he is closing on the cars ahead. The two AlphaTauris up in front. P9 and P8 holding on to the last couple of points positions. But that battle for P3 and the podium place is looking close as Office Red is on the faster tyre than Jack. But I don't know how much longer that advantage will last on those medium tyres.
Nitro looks to be wanting to take the lead. He will get the DRS on this next lap if he doesn't make the overtake into these final corners. He will get the DRS.
Just 5 tenths is the gap between Nitrogash and Joseph Grima, who Nitro did win round 1. So he runs a little bit wide there, but he will be in the DRS. I think he'll be looking for the inside line through turn 1. Let's see what the Ferrari decides to do. He holds his line. Down into the braking zone of turn 1. Nitrogash keeps it nice and tidy, and he will have that DRS to try and pull away after turn 1. That DRS zone is, I think it's very, very punishing for the leading driver as the... As we see there, the McLaren takes both DRS zones, and that helps him breeze away from the car behind.
It's a great overtake. It was clean.
It was very clean down
and
into turn 1.
We don't have a safety car inside 5 laps.
It is a miracle after last week, that's for sure. So if Trem's going fastest.
Do you reckon we might be seeing a race with no safety car, then a race with loads, then loads? Could there be a pattern this season?
Well, round 1 there was no safety car, and then round 2 there's more safety cars than I can count on one hand, I think, in the end. I think it was 4 safety cars and a VSC, I think, last week.
Yes, I do believe.
But it was Baku, so I will let the drivers off. Looks like Joseph Green was losing a bit of performance in those medium tyres as he's almost a second behind Nitrogash, and for the second lap in a row a car will be looking to make an overtake down the start finish straight on that Ferrari. 5 tenths is the gap, but it doesn't look like he's gaining too much.
This lap's going to be very, very crucial for the AlphaTauris. They could make it past the Haas, but they have also got JPH coming in as he comes down the outside. And it's well defended by Kerr. Both the AlphaTauris and JPH will get the DRS into this corners.
Sam Flan and Jarell are looking very close through here.
Yes, they are going tit for tat. That's how the phrase goes.
It is indeed. They keep it nice and tidy though. Good racing from the two of them as Jarell does hold on to that position for now in P7, but Sam Fan is definitely looking for that one. He looks like he does have a bit more pace, but just around the outside of those couple of corners he couldn't make it do.
So it's going to be interesting as the defending is allowing the cars behind them to close. Atsu does take a 3-second time penalty for cutting corners, I think that'll be. Or maybe exceeding track limits.
It'll be one of the two. The first one of the night already, only lap 6. Atsu's going to be looking to put that to bed, I think, in the next couple of laps. Otherwise, he will be falling a bit further down the field as he did spin as well. That's not a good start for Atsu in the first 6 or 7 laps, down into P14. But his teammate doing a lot better up in P2. Let's see if Sam Flan can make the move this time.
Looking to make a move.
Who are you watching? There's a few in a line here looking to make a move.
Mikey did look like he wasn't going to make it back into the top 10. He was lagging a little bit behind, but because of the great defending from Samflan, it has allowed him to get back into the race, and it could become a 5-car race instead of a 4.
Yeah, that battling for the last few points positions, Samflan did make the move on the start finish straight, as we did catch on the stream, past the house of Jarell, who's on his debut. And we have our first retirement. Sir Spud has, let's see where. I think. It looks like he's just gone a bit wide in that right-hander and hit the wall. Oh no, the tyre missing was on the right-hand side. I don't really know what's happened there. To lose that front right tyre through that right-hander. Unless he's She's overturned the car, but there's your first safety car. Looks like it won't be no safety car tonight.
I said Daryl might win it last week, and he went and crashed. I said there's not going to be a safety car this week, and there is already one. What's going on?
As Joseph Grimmer speeds into the pit lane, that is not what he'd be wanting, as he got a good start to this race. I'm assuming he'll be strapping on the hards as some of the medium runners are staying out here. If you're on the mediums, would you be pitting for the hards, or would you be staying out for now?
I think it's hard to tell. I think if you're staying out, you're kind of banking on the fact that there won't be another, that there will be another safety car, because then you can come in and change for the hards. But would you want to take that risk?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think on those mediums, you've got to be pitting here. Friends are saying that some cars are taking the valuable track position. Nitro up into P1 again. And Jorel back up into P6 as Renz would rather stay out. I think I'm going to have to disagree with you, Renz. I'm afraid. I think if I was on those mediums, I'd be getting off them right about now. That free pit stop, I don't know, it just is too valuable, I think, to be thrown away. The 25 seconds that nearabouts that you'd be gaining through the pit stop, I don't know, I just think that you won't lose that much towards the end of the race. You've got Scotty here. 25 laps on the hards around here would be a massive ask if they're going at race pace. It would be a lot, 25 laps, but I do think the hards would make it. Maybe a bit of time management towards the end, especially if they're not up in the first three positions. We've got a couple of people losing connection to the lobby at the moment, as we have the cars just rejoining the safety car on the lead lap at the moment. Charles will be happy about that. He was falling a bit behind as he's put on the softs here. An interesting decision, because he'll have to pit again, but so will the medium runners, so maybe that is the option to be going with, making a few positions at the beginning. Let's have a look. Let's keep an eye on them. Tinnis has stayed out on those hards. They've done 6 laps. There's no way he's taking them to the end, is there? Surely not, from lap 2. 33
Can't
laps.
imagine so.
No. I can't either. 33 laps, that seems like a big ass to me. Most of the cars are just coming up to the safety car now. Just waiting for the Mercedes at the back of Charles John, whose teammate caused tonight's safety car, or the first one for tonight, should I say. Hopefully we won't see that Aston Martin leading the race too much tonight.
No. Not again. Not like last week.
No, not again. I still have nightmares at night of the yellow flashing flags.
Yes.
And the carbon fibre spewing across the track as well.
Joe, I think someone needs another invite. Car needs another invite.
We had a disconnect. Let's see if we can get Kerr back in.
It's alright. There's nothing going on. There's not much to watch. The safety car will still be out in the next lap, it looks like.
Yeah, just waiting for that Merc to catch up, I think. Right, I've sent him an invite. Hopefully he can get back in. Let's see, will he rejoin?
How can it?
Fingers crossed.
Is he still
going? Yeah, it'll say at the bottom if he rejoins. So far, just 2 penalties. Joseph Green with that 5-second speed in the pits, and Atsu, who picked up 3 seconds. The safety car is coming in this lap. It's very late to call in.
He said he needs another.
I'm not going to be able to send one now because we're going to have to be on board with the upshoot, and I'm afraid as Nitrogash is looking to start his lap. He's gone early in the corner, and it looks like he's caught off Nitrogash. It looks like he's caught out Jack, sorry. Who's going to be looking in his rearview mirror? Darrell Whiffen looking for a move on the Aston. Not just yet. Keeping it nice and tidy through. He's up into P4. Doesn't want to do anything silly. Looking to the outside of these next couple of corners. It will give him the inside line as he makes the overtake on Bruce Lee Hardin. But Bruce Lee Hardin will not be giving this one up. A little bit of contact, a little bit of bouncing off each other, but it looks like they've kept it nice and tidy through there. And up into the podium positions is Darrell Whiffen. Let's see if he can keep it out the wall tonight. And as I say that, Daryl has gone into the wall, and he is going to fall down the order as he's going to have to wait for everyone to rejoin. A disaster for Daryl again, as he can't get that Williams under control. P19 does also look like another mistake on track. So it's like Mikey who's made a mistake. I'm sure Russell won't be happy. One we almost missed there was, that looks like Atsu again. A spin from Atsu with those 5 seconds as well. This is not looking like a race to remember for the Ferrari of Atsu. Sab up into P10.
Kerr's down in 11, the ghost of Kerr.
The ghost of Kerr. Yeah, looks like he can't.
Doesn't caught anyone this race.
It does look like he's struggling for connection here, Kerr. Joe's fault. Is that my fault for Daryl spinning again in the wall? Within wall 2.0. On the left hand side
not
there.
Another commentator's car. It's happened again.
It does happen again. It seems to be a running theme, doesn't it, at the moment?
Yes. Should we just not mention Darren and walls anymore? Should that just be like a banned word?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you here. I'll mention anyone on the walls or anyone in spinning, as they have a little mistake from Jarrell as we're on board. It does let the Aston Martin of JPH through on the inside. Keep it nice and tidy. Down into the chicane here. Let's see if they can keep it tidy through there. They do. Although JPH is being forced off. But the move is made by JPH. I think Jarrell wasn't really given too much space on the exit there, so the order sorted themselves out there. Suspect has left the session after that DNF. Not a race to remember from himself, as he is a bit of a IRL veteran around here. But another yellow flag of Mikey again, who was DNF'd. Mikey is in the wall on the right hand side, and that is going to be the second safety car of the evening. Let's hope there is not a bit of a running theme going on here tonight. The second safety car. No, right, if you're on those mediums, you've got to pit now, surely.
Jorrell was in a very lucky position there. He was just about to finish the approach to the pit exit, and then the safety car hit. So he managed to slow down into the pit just in time.
Oh, really? Did he manage to jump in?
Yes.
He's the only one who decided to pit. I'm very surprised. Some of these, well, he's on Trems, maybe on those mediums. Probably should have pitted. A skill issue, Russman says. So, I think those two McLarens, they're not going to be happy, I don't think, about this safety car. They're going to want to pit, but they've been collected, sorry, by that safety car. So if they choose to pit now, they will lose a whole host of positions because all the drivers are catching up now.
And they can't pit at the same time.
That's very well. They can, but they will have to double stack if they choose to do so.
Yeah.
Yes, I will send Kerr an invite now.
Let's hope he gets back into the race.
Kerr.
Because from what I see, he has the capability to become...
Sorry, I invited Bruce Lee Harden instead.
He has the capability to be in the podium. It's just his connections letting him down for the 2 weeks that I've been watching anyway.
Yeah, he's definitely been performing. He was up there with his teammate in P, well, who's now in P4. So they definitely had some pace. Let's see if the McLarens are going to decide to pit here. I think they're both going to stay out now. They've been caught. Well, they've been picked up by the safety car. Sorry. So you just wait for Darryl to catch up with the group. I don't know what's going on. A bit of a collision there at the back of the grid. I think Charles was trying to enter the pits there, but that has resulted in a penalty, unfortunately, for somebody. Did you see who the penalty was for?
Yeah, it was for Atsu again.
Oh dear. Atsu. 8 seconds he's on now. 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane.
JP's not going to want the safety car anymore because he has got the 10-second time penalty. As it stands, it takes him from 6th all the way down to 17th.
That's very true. There's carrying a 15-second time penalty it's not a way you want to start. It's not a way you want to, not a way you want to start the race. That's for sure. Especially with plenty of safety cars. But there are some penalties behind him, so maybe Atsu will be the only one behind him once the penalties are applied. Renz wants visor cam. Unfortunately, Renz, I don't have the power to go to visor cam. It just is down whether the game is interested in doing it or not. A couple of positions swapping around here. I don't really know what's going on under the safety car there. Might be some connection issues with Kerr, who is I think, is he still out of his car at the moment? Yeah, he's ghosted. Doesn't look like he's managed to get in yet. I'll try and send him one more invite before we get back underway. There we go. Safety car is in. Right on cue, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's happened again.
At least they've called it a little bit earlier this time. Nitrogash has got a bit more time to think about what he wants to do. But he is on those worn. He is on those worn mediums.
He's swerving around the track, and he's gone. He's gone just off the corner. Caught Jack a little bit off guard there with the swerves. And Nitro will go into the first corner of the leader with no change in the time either. It does still stay at 7/10.
No positions changing, but I have just noticed that Charles John is on the intermediate tyres. I don't really know what's happened there. We have had a spin though. A collision with Tinus Optioneer, who's down into 17th place, not where he'd want to be. And he's still got a pit stop to make. Disaster for the Red Bull, who started near the front of the grid today.
Whoever's gone for the intermediates is looking. Who is it?
Charles John.
He's hoping that there might be rain. It does look like it is going to rain.
It does look cloudy, but
too premature?
I've not been told about any rain, but it does look cloudy. You're not wrong. Samfan's gone a bit wide there. JPH will be looking to move his way up to his teammate in P3. The two Astons performing the best so far out of the teams. But the McLaren's not doing too bad either, but JP is carrying that 15-second time penalty that we do keep talking about, and they do both have to pit still, as they came out on those medium tyres, and they're going to be a bit worn, I think, at this point. Let's see if JPH can make a move down into turn 1.
As it stands, JP will be last with the 15-second time penalty.
JP will still be last. There's only Atsu who, with his 8-second time penalty added on, that he might fall behind. Atsu will be hoping, I think, for another safety car so he can clear that penalty off his name.
Kerr will not be rejoining us today.
Is he having connection issues still, unfortunately?
His ISP is acting weird.
Yeah, it's a disaster for Kerr.
I do believe he will not be in this race.
Is JPH going to look for another move in the chicane? Not this time. I think after the contact last time he learnt his lesson, that's for sure. He's staying very close to the car ahead of Samflan, who is also yet to pit, both on those hard tyres. Possibly be hoping for another safety car maybe, as they do have to pit still. Just 3 tenths is the gap. DRS will be enabled on the following lap. Let's hide the telemetry for now. It does look like a high wing for JPH though, as he goes around the corner. DRS is enabled. He does run wide. And, is that a drop of rain I just saw, or am I going crazy? I think it is. I think it is raining. Charles John could be on for a masterclass. This could explain why the mediums didn't pit. If the rain was due to fall in sort of around the middle of the race, after those couple of safety cars, then maybe that was the right decision, as I'm pretty sure I did see a few drops. Let's go on board. You can see the rain a bit better. There is some rain around the Hungarian Grand Prix. Quite rare to see rain around Hungary. But it is raining. I don't know if it's going to rain heavy enough for a pit stop or not. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. JPH is right behind Samfan. He's going to be wanting to make this move whilst the DRS is still enabled, I think. It's Could explain though why a few drivers were choosing not to pit. So knowledge that we didn't know about. A bit of rain. Down the inside from JPH, he's being wary of his car, placing it where he needs to place it. But he looks like a nice little switchback up the inside from JPH, and that will be the position made up into P4 behind his teammate. But there will be the DRS for Sanflan down the start finish straight, as Russman is saying that Darryl will be hoping for another safety car. It's not looking quite
JP
ready for the
move down the inside, and he does make the move going into the first corner.
Brilliant move from JP as Sanflan loses 2 positions in the space of 3 corners. An evening to Simon, who will be racing tomorrow night. Simon, we've got a interesting one heating up here. The rain is starting to fall. Drivers have gone for different strategies. Some pitted early under the safety car and lost a few positions. Some chose not to. We've got a couple of early pits for the Inters. Tinnis has gone in. He's not got much to lose, I don't think, now, as he had his little collision earlier. And obviously Charles John is he went on those Inters during the safety car period, but he did look like he was struggling, as he has fallen further and further behind.
But he might gain the time back in the pit stops.
He may well do, but the rain doesn't look to be coming down too heavy as we go on to the driver view. It shows it a little bit better. I can't see the track getting too damp at the moment. I'll have to keep an eye on that one. Usually the telltale sign is if the DRS is disabled.
Two Aston Martins. Who's going to get? Will one of them get the podium? Last week you did have both Aston Martins in the 1-2, and I don't think either of them finished in the top 3.
I think there's some brilliant battling going on between Jack and Nitro, as Jack has taken the lead of the race. He may not have had the best safety car restart, as Ren said, but Nitro just wasn't able to pull away on those old medium tyres. He must be waiting for the Inters now, with the rain falling down. But Jack is up into P1. I didn't see what happened, because there's a big gap between those two and Bruce Lee Harding in 3rd place. Maybe a bit of team talks will be going on here, as JPH will be looking to get past the Aston. Like you did say, they were looking for a 1-2 at one point around Baku, but mistakes were made and it didn't end up happening, as we do have a spin of Atsu in the Ferrari again. Maybe those softs are
and it's a safety car.
not ideal. A safety car again. Now, how many are going to jump in here for the intermediate tyres? Where will they pit? I think Nitro is going to have to pit, surely, on those tyres.
The top 5 are all carrying 17 lap tyres.
They are indeed, but what are they going to want to pit for? As runs wide under the safety cars. Scotty's saying slap the mediums on. Is it going to be the mediums or the Inters, Renz? What do you think? A no-brainer to be pitting. It did look like Jack stayed out. What am I seeing? No, yeah, he stayed out. That's a very interesting decision from Jack. To stay out on those hard tyres. Nitrogash is going in. That's what we expected to see. It's just a matter of what tyres are put on here. The rain is not coming down too heavy.
JPH does stay out. It's hard for Nitro Gash.
You know, the Inters are staying away, aren't they? A couple of them out on the Inters.
Inters for Bruce and JP.
Those mediums can... I think like sort of 15 laps you're looking for on those mediums. Sort of the most you can do. So those that were on the MIPS did have to pit. Got a few on the
Darryl's
Inters.
pitting. He's gone from softs to mediums.
We've got a very... Tinnis has retired. Did he crash on his pit entry? Or has he just chose to retire in the pits? Oh, he's crashed on track, actually. On the start-finish straight. A crash under the safety car is never what you're hoping for. I tell you what, this can make for some interesting racing. From 9th down, we have everyone bar 2 drivers on intermediates. And from 8th up, we have everyone on the dry tyres. Jolly is on those mediums, so he's going to have to pit again, as are the hard tyres. But the rain is not coming down very fast at all. It's not making the track wet, that's for sure. I think if you're the leaders now, you're going to be banking for the track to stay dry, which is going to force all those cars behind them who have pitted onto the Inters to pit again. And not many positions will be lost if you're the leading cars at the moment.
I do think, however, Nitro Gash, I think he's got a strategy right here. He's gone from mediums to hards. Unless it rains harder than what it is now, and wet tyres are required, I do think he might have a good chance in this race.
I think you might be right.
Very cautiously. I'm saying this incredibly cautiously.
Yeah, after a few.
We all know what happened now.
Yeah, a few commentators' curses. JP is pitted for the Inters by the looks of it.
He pitted for the Inters last lap.
Oh no, he's pitting off the Inters actually. It's not looking too wet out there, is it? And the rain, it doesn't look like it's getting any heavier either. So maybe that might be the right decision come the end of the race. He won't. He's not going to lose much.
Work on a wet track?
The Inters will. Yeah, they will only work on the wet track. If it stays dry, they will have no hope. Tinus said it was not what he planned. I'd have been very confused, Tinus, if you were planning to crash under the safety car. But don't worry, you're not the first one in Tier 3 to crash under the safety car, so don't worry. He's made a mess of his race, he said. Softs into full wet ass.
How many racing laps do you think we'll get out of these 15?
I'd like to say all 15, but I'm a bit sceptical of some disasters on the Inters. I'm not too sure what JP started on, Simon, but it doesn't matter now because he did go onto those Inters. So as soon as you put on those Inters, the rule is removed on what tyres you have to use. As far as I'm aware.
I think he started on the hards.
Did he start on the hards? Let's have a look. He's just going to be looking to get to the end. He started on the mediums, so he has used 2 sets if he has to. Right,
safety car is in this lap.
Safety car in, as you said. Safety car is in. Now Jack has had a couple of not very good safety car restarts, but this time he'll be leading the way. Let's see if he can learn from the cars ahead and do what they did. Car is falling down the order. I don't know what's going on back there. But let's see. The safety car restart. Jack leading the way with the Aston just behind him with JPH.
It was pretty slow up until the line.
No, it doesn't look wet enough. Yeah, he looked like he waited right until the end. I don't know. I think I can see a bit of rain on the track.
Yeah, I was just about to say it does.
Bit of water on the track. Sorry. Yeah, it does look wet.
Oh, it looks very wet if he's in broadcast view.
Yeah, it looks like actually those on the dry tyres are struggling a bit now. Let's keep an eye on Bruce Lee Harden on those Inters. He's looking quick. We are seeing some puddles forming on the right hand side of the track there. So Bruce Lee is up into P8, up into P7. I think it is getting wetter. As there's contact with Nitrogash, and Nitrogash is in the wall, and that will be a retirement for the other McLaren of Nitrogash. Will that bring out the safety car? It doesn't look like it for now. As we have another spinner, that is Charles John, also out of the race in the wall. That is 2 cars retired on track and still no safety car. Bruce is up into P5. I think it is getting wetter out here as cars are making mistakes left, right and centre. There's the safety car that we were expecting there. It's definitely wet enough for the Inters now. Right as I spoke and said it was looking too dry, it did get wet. JP is going to be kicking himself after pitting for those dry tyres. Absolutely kicking himself. A dramatic race. Jolly's
gone.
What happened there? Were you on board with him?
No, I've just seen the cars go past. It looks like he has retired on track.
Oh, disaster as the front runners are pitting on those hard tyres. No surprise there. Friends, I don't think that the safety car limit was 5 last year. I don't know if they've done the same again. But this is the 3rd safety car now. So as Jarrell speeds in the pit lane as they're all trying to get off those hard tyres. But it does look like the Inters are the correct tyres to be on. Let's hope it doesn't rain too much more. And we need those wet tyres. Yeah, I don't know how many safety cars the limit is. I don't think I've ever seen more than 5. I don't know about you, and if you've seen how many safety cars you've seen in the game. It's a bit of discussion.
Nitro's not happy with Bruce. Nitro is not happy with Bruce.
I did see contact with the 2 as Bruce was he was on the correct tyre with the faster tyres. But there's again going to be one for the stewards, I think, unfortunately, for the McLaren, who was Ended his race early on lap 21. Inters now are definitely looking like the right tires.
Jolly hit someone from behind. I think from what it looked like the Haas of Jorrel, I think it was.
Oh, really?
Again, this is very loose information. I saw a white car in front of Jolly, and he says he hit someone from behind. So I would gather that it was the Haas of Jorrel.
That would make sense, but we will wait for the stewards' inquiries before we throw too many accusations around, just in case. If we didn't quite catch it on board. Yeah, I think you might be right, Renz. I think 5 might be the limit for safety cars, but I think you can still have some VSCs, though. And sometimes it'll pull out the VSCs instead of the safety car. I know also if you've just had a safety car and a collision happens within a couple of corners, it quite often doesn't come out. Oh, Stephen seems to be enjoying this right now as Nachigash has left the session. JPH has jumped Jack. He has indeed in the pits. No double stack, so I don't know what happened there. But currently we have everyone on the correct tyres this time, as the track is looking very wet out there. It didn't look to rain too much, but it does look wet. Bruce Lee will be chuffed that he put those inters on when he did. A brilliant call from him. 2 Ferraris up in the top 4, 2 Astons up in the top 5, and a debut podium could be on the cards here for Bontobi on his first race around the Hungarian Grand Prix. Let's have to keep an eye on that one. But Bruce Lee in the Aston leading the way. Oh, Stephen, who raced here last season, Ewan, he had a couple of complaints about the medium traction control this year, and he's very much enjoying the misfortune of other cars tonight, who are struggling with the medium traction control, even though he's not on track tonight. Friends calls him a horrible man. That's not very nice, friends. Darrell is up into P10, but he would have been looking for more, I think, out of this race. In Nat Williams, his teammate in P8. I think that's his teammate, isn't it? Yeah. Couple try 15 weeks. So a restart in the wet. What do you think? An early restart or wait till the line?
I think an early restart, but then again though, it is a corner. You are coming out of a 90-degree corner, so...
That is true, but if you know you're doing that restart, then you could catch the cars behind you off guard on the restart, sliding through the corner.
So what happened in 12 and 13? Or is that just a...
No, I think they were just going a little bit side by side on the safety car. It does look like Bruce is going to go late here. Or maybe right on the exit of the corner. No, he's waiting for the line. And he is away. Let's see if he can hold that position. Atsu is very, very close behind. Only a 10th as Darrell makes another position up into P9. Another point on the board. JPH is up into P4. Past the Ferrari of Joseph Greener. They're looking very tight through there. And there looks like a bit of contact. And Bontobi is losing positions here. Down into P5. P6 even, maybe he's got a bit of contact there as the 2 Ferraris go second and third. JPH has also lost a couple of positions as I think he had a bit of a tangle with Bontobi, but Bruce Lee will be laughing at that restart as he's pulled a second already. Tara whiffing up into P7. I think Bontobi is carrying some damage here. Let's keep an eye on the Ferraris, second and third at the moment. Jack just behind them, who has made a bit of fortune through the mistakes of Bontobi and JPH ahead, up into P4. Now this is the true test of the drivers under the wet racing. If we're on board with Atsu, it looks like he's being held up a little bit by his teammate. He might be asking for some team orders here to let him past. Jack is right on the heels, and as I say that, Jack goes for a move down the inside, and he keeps it nice and tidy, no contact. Space was afforded to him, and Jack is up into the podium positions as Bontobi in the background is losing another position. Oh, Stephen, we've moved the Tier 3 race to Monday, and then keeping the Tier 2 race on the Tuesday, and then we build up for the Tier 1 race on the Wednesday night. JPH is looking for a move on Office Red. But he doesn't quite look like he's got the pace here. He's going to have to settle for P6 for now. Mario Zapata saying take him out now. I don't know who he's referring to here. But JPH is hot on the heels of Office Red in the Haas. Saba's made another position up into P10. Darrell is in P7, just 3/10 as he cuts the corner there, and almost loses the back end. He's on the grass. Right, let's look away from Darrell. Mistakes happen when we're on board with him. Let's just let him do his thing in the background. Let's get on board with JPH, who's looking for a move on the Haas still. Officer Red is there's a bit of wiggling going around from the car ahead as he's just wrestling the car through the corners. Most of them will be on the dry setup, not using the wet setup as the rain didn't come out till late. Let's keep an eye on JPH, the closest gap at the moment on track, 3/10 between him and the Haas of Office Red. Will he make a move down into this right-hander? No, he's going to hold back for now. Keep it sensible. You can't win the race if you're in the wall or in the back of another car. The start-finish straight is usually where most moves are made. I'm sure he's been harvesting some ERS to make a move here. He does look like he's quicker. But I said earlier that JPH looks like he has a very high front wing. And down that start-finish straight, he's just not looking any quicker than the cars ahead of him. And I don't know if that's costing him a little bit at the moment.
Yeah. Wasn't that the story of last week as well?
Yeah.
Was that a high rear wing last week?
I think it was Sam Fan last week. He was in the Mercedes at the time because he was just a reserve, and he was performing well up in the top 5. But his front wing was just way too high. And I did speak to him after the race actually, and he just said that if that front wing was any lower, he was struggling with it. Jarrell was span out, and that is another safety car. 5 safety cars. 4 is that tonight? Sorry, 4 safety cars around Hungary, as Ren's saying that cars are leaving trails of licorice on the track.
So out of them 15 laps, Joe.
Yeah, let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
How many racing laps was your question? And my answer was all 15, mate. All 15. Yeah, I look a bit silly now, don't I? Another safety car, and it is on reduced. You are correct, though, Stephen. It is on reduced.
Is it actually?
It is indeed. Yeah, it is. It is on reduced. I dread to think how many would have had if it wasn't on reduced and it was on standard. God.
Oh, too many. But then again, though, there were a couple of spin-offs where we said, "Is there going to be a safety car? Is there not?"
Yeah, that is true. We had 2 cars retired on track at one point, didn't we? I think that was Charles John and Nitrogash. The safety car didn't come out for Nitrogash, and they came and cleared the car quickly, but it did come out in the end when Charles John crashed just 2 corners later. I would have been surprised with 2 safety cars out, the safety car would have stayed in. But it is back out again. Bruce Lee will be disappointed. He had pulled a nice one on House, second gap at the front. But he will have to do that again with the Ferrari of Joseph Groomer, who wasn't behind him last time. It was Jack, I think. Trems was pitted for a new set of inters. I think he was near the back anyway, so no damage lost there. Do you think those
Trems has the right idea?
Yeah, do you think those new inters will be much better than the ones ahead?
No.
No. I'm not too sure 8 either. Laps. Yeah.
I think that's what Trent has gone for. There's 8 laps.
Hopefully no more safety cars. 8 racing laps, or 7 after they join.
Hopefully. Bruce and Joe should have to pit, but they might push in their position. Atsu will probably pit as well with Bontobi. They're all on 8 laps. Does Trems have the right idea?
16 laps.
How many laps can you get? How many laps can you get on intermediates?
I think those on the with 8 laps to go will make it to the end on those inters. I don't think it's that bad. 9 laps. It'll be 10 laps by the time the safety car goes in. There will still be 6 more to race. I think they will make it to the end. I think they'll have no choice but to go to the end. Whether the tyres will make it will be a different story, but I think they'll be okay. It is looking very wet out there though. The rain is not easing off anytime soon. And with this safety car, the track will only get wetter. All on inters, I think that's definitely the right call. It's not wet enough for the wet tyres just yet, and if it was, no one's on them, so that's fine. A few people are saying inters can do about half distance, so they should be fine. It's just how much performance will they lose from those intermediate tyres. They fall off the cliff very, very quickly. I think the first 5 or 6 laps, performance is negligible, lost. But once you get towards 12 or 13 laps, they will start degrading. Especially if the track gets any drier, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen tonight. For the 4th time, we have the safety car, I would assume, be in this lap. Everyone has caught up now. 6 retirements. We had 20 on the grid tonight, and so far only 7 retirements even.
How many retirements was there last week?
I think there was 8 last week. I think we had 12 finishers. Let's go on board with Bruce Lee. Going for an identical restart, I think, to this one. He did it correctly last time. Let's see if he can do it again. So safety car peels away into the pits. It might even look like he's gone already. He has. He's already gone. And he had a bit of a squirm out of that last corner. That's going to put Joseph Greenwood right on the back of him. Let's see. He looks like he's going to hold on to that position. Can't see anything going on in the background. JP possibly looking for a move. Trems J does make a couple of positions. Looks like contact with JP and Sab there. And Sab has gone round into the wall. That will not be a happy sight for Sab, seeing that wall as a few more cars look like they're having some mistakes. Sam Flan in the middle of the track. I don't know what happened there. But a few cars losing some positions. JPH has eventually passed the Hassel Officer Ed. We were saying that he was looking for that move. And as soon as the safety car came in, he did make it. That's P5 now for JPH, who's going to be hunting for a podium finish. The Ferrari on the back of Jack. Bruce has pulled a second out the front. He'll be hoping to keep that gap. It does look like to me that Joseph Greenwood is struggling on those intermediate tyres. Sorry, Jack is carrying a lot more pace.
A little bit wide there.
He's got JPH right behind him.
Jack is right behind Joseph as well. This could be a very interesting couple of corners into the first couple of corners in the next lap.
Yeah, 4 tenths is the gap.
As they do turn the final corner of the 29th lap as we enter the 30th lap of the race.
A bit of wiggling going on, and I think that will rescue Jack from an overtake. But JPH is definitely going to be looking for it here. A bit too far back. Darryl sniffing the back of Officer Ed, who's dropped a position when JPH made a move. And avoiding a bit of contact there at the exit of turn 1. That's what we like to see. No more contact, please, tonight. JPH is looking close. He's going to be on a late surge, I think, with those slightly newer intermediate tyres. JP makes one more position, but he is carrying a 15-second time penalty, so he will still be in 13th place at the moment. But if you have any more retirements, he could still pick up a point.
Yes. Hopefully we don't see any more retirements, Joe.
Hopefully we don't see any more retirements, especially no more safety cars.
Oh! Saying that, JPH has spun out.
Disaster for the Aston, who was looking to climb up the field. He has got the car going, although that's only the ghost of car. Disaster for JPH.
Like he could potentially. Did look like he could potentially challenge for the podium, but now he's in 10th and he'll be battling to keep his points.
And as you said that, Jack made a bit of contact with the back of Joseph Groom. It doesn't look like any damage, but it did look like a connection issue, I think, because the cars were bouncing around a little bit. And that will give Joseph Greener some breathing space of a second.
Oh, and move it. It's made by Darrell. Can he get down the inside? On the start finish straight. Into corner one, he does make the move.
A brilliant move from... And there's a bit of a wiggle from Matsu ahead. Could be 2 positions in 2 corners. No, not quite. Right. Let's get off board of Darrell. This is never a good idea to be on board with Darrell Whiffen. Let's watch it from Matsu's point of view instead of Darrell's. So I say that he's looking for a move here. Darrell around the outside. That's a well taken move into P4. Can he make a late surge for the podium positions? Just 3 seconds, and there is a spin behind, and Jack is in the wall. That's a crash from Jack, and a tyre out, and a 5th safety car of the night. A 5th safety car. What did we say earlier?
Are we gonna? There'll be 15 of racing.
We said there will be 15, and JPH just picked up a drive-through. Bad to worse for JPH, speeding under the safety car. They're all going very slowly. I wonder if the Delta's playing up for them. It says he has a Delta of 1 minute. Right, let's ignore that. Another safety car though, and JPH, I think he's picked up damage, hasn't he? I can't quite tell.
Maybe his drive-through penalty could be a blessing in disguise.
Well, you can't, what am I looking for? You can't do work on the car under a drive-through.
Right.
So he's going to just fall further and further back. I think we're going to have to, unfortunately, agree that JPH will finish tonight in 12th place. Trems has pitted again. I don't know if he got caught up in anything.
It might be 11th because of JP.
It might be 11th, but he'll have to serve that drive-through after the race has got underway. And I'm not even convinced that he'll catch back up with the pack after that, after the pit. Scotty's saying he hopes that Tier 2 tomorrow night will be a little bit less dramatic. As I'm racing, I agree, Scotty. No more safety cars. Especially not 5.
Samplan looked to have a very slow pit then. He looks to be held a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder if he was carrying maybe a little bit of damage and that's why he went in the pits. A couple of drivers have pitted, but they were from the back, so not a lot lost. But I don't know how much you know about the game. If there's only a couple of laps left, sometimes the safety car will go in without the pack catching up. I don't know what lap it has to be. I think it's 3 laps remaining at 3 racing laps. So it
should come in this lap.
Yeah, I think it might come in this lap. Scotty's saying if everyone gives him P1 and everyone else drives slowly, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm afraid, Scotty. And I certainly won't be letting that happen. Even if you are my teammate. Safety car is going to stay out. 1 more lap then, and I think it will come in at the end of this lap, regardless if everyone catches up or not. Just 12 people still out on track. 8 retirements. And Russman is saying a brilliant recovery from Darrell. He is up into P3 for now. However, as we all know, do not count your eggs before they hatch when it comes to Darrell Whiffen. Trems does have the fastest lap, and no one's going to beat that now. Let's see. Position changes. We have Atsu up 15 positions into P4. He gave you a due last week and spun you. Yeah, it's very true, Russman. He did do that. 15 positions from Atsu, though, up into P4. And that Ferrari, a brilliant race from him. JP making 14 positions up into P6. A few people are saying don't go on board with Darrell. Every time I've gone on board with him, I've said the exact same thing. Let's not stay on board. We'll watch the move and get away. 3rd safety car restart from Bruce Lee Harding. What's the plan this time? He went late the first time, early the second, although that did result in a little bit of the rears being spanned. So maybe he'll be going for a late restart again, but I don't know.
If he does go for the early restart, maybe he could catch the drivers out, and maybe they might have their rears spun out, so then he does keep his P1 nice and secure. Who knows?
That's very true. There's always a lot to gamble when you do a safety car restart.
Go on board with someone else and pretend it's
If the car's in front of him, if you do that, nah, let's better not. Two Aston Martins are leading the grid, but not in the way we expected for the safety car and Bruce Lee at the moment. JPH is carrying that drive-through, as we said.
Safety car is in this lap.
Safety car is in. Atsu does have a 3-second time penalty. He got rid of 5 of those seconds, but he still does carry 3. JP, not that it says there, but he is carrying a 15-second race after last week, sorry. And JPH carrying that drive-through, which he's going to have to serve. I don't know if you can serve it on the lap they come in. I'm not too sure. I think he might. It does look like he's going into the pits. Hopefully he can serve it, and he's not made a big mistake there. Although I can't see him catching the grid too quickly.
Good.
Bruce is away.
And he's left it late.
He has left it late. Darrell Whiffen is going to be looking for P2 here, as he's right on the rear of Joseph Grima, but maybe not quite. Let's go back to the interval view, sorry. 4 cars all close together, a couple of positions being swapped at the back with Kerr 9th and Trems in 10th for the last 2 points of the race, but it looks like Bruce Lee has got the restart he wanted, keeping P1. Darrell and Office Red closely behind with Joseph Grima in 2nd place. Saba's made a position and Bontobi looks like he's dropped through the pack. That could be a mistake back there for him, as he is down into P10. Maybe a debut to forget, although he has managed to last till the end of the race. Let's do it. Let's go on board with Darrell Whiffen for the last lap and a half. I'm being brave here. He's looking like he's itching to make a move on Joseph Grima, and I'd hate to miss that.
He has got to be careful with Rico.
He has got to be careful. It's one thing making a move, but it's another thing making a move into the wall.
No more whiffing walls.
No more whiffing walls. He's already picked one for this lap, this track. Sorry, on the left-hand side out of turn 5. I think he made contact with the wall. Well, he did make a good overtake there as well. So who knows? As we go on to the last lap, Bruce Lee in first. Joseph Grima in second, Darrell in third, and it doesn't look like anything's going to be done here. Sab is going to be looking for a move, but he is a bit far back. As Smoke says, making a move into a ball. It's still, I'm assuming that says making a move. It hit the second half of your message, Smoke, I'm afraid. I think what you see is what you're going to get here. JPH didn't serve that drive-through when he pitted on safety car in. So it looks like you do have to serve it on a full racing lap, unfortunately for him. So JP will be gifted 1 position tonight, but P11 is not enough for points, unfortunately.
But Bontobi on his debut will be getting points.
He will be looking at 1 point. He will be looking at 1 point, as JP will have that 15-second applied. Smoke typed too fast and missed a bit of the message. Makes sense. That's why I cut it off. Let's go on board with Bruce here, as he's going to look to wrap up the race for the Aston Martin. What could have been last week, he's made amends a little bit this week for P1, but unfortunately his teammate again has picked up some trouble in the last 10 laps. A bit of a deja vu story for him, unfortunately. As they come round the last corner, that will be P1 for Bruce. Let's not put it in the wall here. A good race from Bruce and Joseph Grima. A brilliant recovery from Darrell Whiffen, as Atsu does fall down the order with the 3-second time penalty being applied. But P9 is where he stands. And I didn't see what happened, but Bontobi is actually P10 on track. So that is 2 points for Bontobi on his debut. He would definitely be happy with that. A race of survival tonight was the case, rather than who could get around the track the quickest, I think. Strategies and survival gave Bruce the win today, as he pitted early onto those inters. Your driver of the day, who do we think?
I think it's got to be Darrell. The heart he had, he was P19 at 1 point, and he's come all the way up to P3.
I think I'm gonna. Oh god, I just dropped my controls. I think I'm gonna have to agree with you there, Daryl Whiffen for driver of the day. But definitely a big shout out for Atsu, who made some brilliant positions there. Burnt Mindland for the driver of the day again, says Smoke. And an entertaining race, says Renz. So there we have it, the third round of the Invictus Racing League Tier 3 that is partnered with Gridfinder. Bruce Lee will take the checkered flag for P1. Just behind him is Joseph Grimmer in P2, who managed to hold off Darryl Whiffen, who finished almost 2 seconds behind in the end. Although he did look like a position was going to be made. Officer Ed in P4 and JP in P5. However, we do have a 15-second penalty to apply to him, which will move him, unfortunately, down into P11. Trems will finish in P6. Another decent finish in the top 6 or 7 for Trems. Sab in P7 after that DNF early last race. Sam Flan in P8 with Atsu just behind him in P9. And after the chaos that ensued, Bon Toby has picked up his first points of the season in P10, which will be P9 after penalties will be applied. Car in P11 or P10, and unfortunately JPH will keep that P12 with, it says 20 seconds of penalties there. I don't really know what that's for. I'm pretty sure he served his drive-through, but that sounds like he was given that penalty for not serving his drive-through. I don't really know what's happened there. Let's hope we can get a couple in for an interview tonight. Bruce Lee Harding winning that race and Darryl Whiffen in third. Let's see if we can get them both in. As we have the drivers join in now, just a reminder, keep your mic muted, guys, just until we start the interviews, and make sure you got your settings set to have your voice shared. He didn't say, Smoke saying he didn't serve his drive-through, but he then pitted the lap after as well, by the looks of it, and again possibly not served that drive-through, and then given 20 seconds as he crossed the line for failing to serve the drive-through. So we do have the 2 racers who finished first and third in the chat just now. Again, a reminder, guys, make sure you have your voice shared so those at home can hear you talking, and keep your mic muted until you are spoken to. Let's go to Bruce first. Bruce, at the beginning it didn't look like you were going to win that race, but the wet tyres were the way to go, and you did decide to go on those inters early, and it looked like a good call.
Yeah, it was a massive risk, really. I genuinely didn't think it was going to sort of rain hard enough that quick, but I got lucky. And to be honest, it was just a bit of a 50-50 call whether to go for it, and it did pay off and really put me in that position to be at the front.
Yeah, we said on the stream that the rain didn't really look like it was coming down too heavy, but all of a sudden on that safety car restart, the track got very wet very quickly in like the space of 1 or 2 laps. What were you thinking as it got wetter?
I was enjoying it. It was getting wetter while I was sat on the inters and everyone else was on the slick tyres still. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, like you say, it started off when it started raining. It wasn't really settling on the ground, and then within the space of like half a lap, you could suddenly see the water on the track, and yeah, that was the point. When it said then safety car in at the end of that lap as well, that it really paid off, to be honest.
Yeah, we were saying it didn't look very wet, but possibly with the cars going around a lot slower, not keeping the track quite as hot and dry, that was why it got so wet. The last thing I'd like to point out is you let us know last week that you were unfortunately ill, and did you race this race with COVID again?
I don't know if people want to know that, but yeah, I'm still COVID positive at the moment, but I feel a lot better than I did the end of last week. So yeah, I think I'm on my way out of it.
An Invictus Racing first, a win even though you have COVID. Definitely commendable, I think.
I think I'm lucky to avoid race bans for not following protocols, but yeah, no, luckily it was mild, so it's not too bad.
Perfect. But any questions, Ewan?
Just one. What happened with Nitro? It does look like there's a little. It did look like there was a little bit of a conflict in there. What happened?
I came out of, obviously I went around the outside of turn 2, and as we've come into turn 3, I'm way ahead of him, I think, going into it. And as I've gone through it, I don't know whether Nitro just turned in slightly early and just tapped me, but as we came out of it, it looked like he was okay. It looked like his car was still pointing in the right direction. All of a sudden, it was like the rear of his car just snapped, and he just then went off to the inside. So I don't really know. Like from my point of view, I don't think I actually did anything wrong. I just took the racing line, gave him enough room, but we'll see what happens on that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't see too much wrong from what I could see, but we did only catch the end of it. All we saw was nitro in the wall on the right. But congratulations on first place, Bruce, and commiserations to your teammate again, unfortunately, tonight.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Daryl, on to you. P3, how are you feeling tonight?
Yeah, very happy after that. Yeah, at one point when I hit the wall again, I was thinking I weren't getting any points tonight. So, yeah, I might be the first guy on the podium that's ever used every single tyre possible apart from the wet. I was on the hard, medium, soft, and inters at one point. So, yeah, I can't really complain. You know, I mean, be like Bruce, I saw some guys go on the inters, and at that point I didn't think it was wet enough, so I stayed in the mediums, and I think I actually gained like 3 places in that first stint where there was a mixture of people in the field. Then the next safety car coming, it was getting harder and harder. I thought, I'm going to have to go in. So, yeah, I honestly didn't think I was going to get any points, or it was going to be like minimal. And just somehow managed to keep climbing on up. And that last lap, I think, was probably my slowest of the race, because I was like, just keep on track, don't do anything silly. Yeah, pretty happy in him.
Yeah, we actually thought you might have been looking to make a move in the last couple of laps. You looked like you had more pace on the guy ahead, but then you finished a couple of seconds behind him. Was it just a matter of, taking what you've got, P3, and just getting the car over the line?
Yeah, I mean, if I'd been there kind of all race, then maybe would have risked it a little bit. But considering what happened in the race, and I didn't think I was going to get anywhere, top 8 or anything like that, it was just kind of like, right, just stick with the third place, get the points, especially after obviously getting nothing last week. And yeah, I was a little bit worried though, because I did think if I go too slow, half this red could get me, but in the end it all paid out.
Yeah, P3, brilliant race after being in the wall at one point. I have to be honest, and we did go on board with you right before you crashed, and I did feel bad.
So you said in the race, I guarantee I watched that back later on, and they would have been on me when I crashed.
You're not wrong. We were saying for the rest of the race that we will not go on board with Darryl Whiffen any longer, and then in the last lap we did go on board for a little bit, but I couldn't stay on board too long just in case.
Yeah.
Any questions, Ewan?
Well done. Great drive from you. Come back from, was it P19?
Yeah, was back there somewhere. I think I need a safety car behind me, so something like that.
Well done on that.
Cheers, mate.
And this second driver with 2 podiums this season, so up there in the championship, I think.
Yeah, I was just a little bit annoying with what happened last week. It'd been nice to potentially have 3 in a row, but I think I've recovered nicely today, so just take that forward now.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, potentially should have been a race win last week, but
exactly, we won't go there.
We'll look forwards, not backwards.
Exactly.
A brilliant race nonetheless, 3rd place. Something to be happy with. So that wraps it up for the Hungarian Grand Prix. That is round 3 for the Tier 3 of the Invictus Racing League, brought to you by Grid Finder. I've been Joe Hamsonine, and he's been Ewan alongside me. Goodbye from me.
Have a good night, everyone.